Andrew Tate sat down with Candace Owens, and apparently this is something that had been in the works for a long time. They did it. They did it. Andrew Tate, Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying?
You said like they won the championship.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Did it.
Well, the only reason I liked it because people have their opinions on Candace. Shoot, I have my opinions on Candace that aren't all positive either.
Yeah.
But I respect what Candace can do behind the microphone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then she's a good speaker. Andrew Tate, we already know he's a good speaker. He got to where he's at off of speaking. You know what I'm saying?
He's so good of a speaker that millions of people will listen to him say the similar things every time he speaks.
And he's so good of a speaker, he convinced women to be under him and working for him on his website.
Why would you
of
do
that
that?
nature? He said it.
He's not even being charged for that no more.
Yeah. See, you bringing up old shit.
It's not even. But he sat down because he was so good at it. He had to sit down for 6 months in a cell.
And
Roach
Mr.
infested.
fucking scared of police.
Anybody-
It's not illegal in Romania.
It's not scared of the police. It's the card that you're pulling.
I'm not pulling no card.
Because that's what they do to him. That's what. See, you niggas in the Matrix.
How far did you watch it? How far did you watch?
Me and Lawrence was some blue pill niggas.
I'm selectively in the Matrix, to be clear, though.
Yeah.
I'm selectively in the Matrix over specific things.
That's more honorable than you just being.
That was the Malik Andrews again. That was the second version of that.
What you mean?
That wasn't that bad. Nah, because
He just pulled a card. He pulled a card out of nowhere for no reason.
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he pulled a Malika.
Why'd you pull the card is the question. But go ahead, though.
But first of all,
Support
he
the
talked about how
WNBA,
far
nigga.
did y'all watch it?
I
Because it was 3 hours.
I watched 2 hours.
I seen probably about 33% of that shit.
So
Same.
1 hour.
What the fuck does that mean?
1 hour.
1 hour and 3 minutes.
This nigga lying. Who says 33%? Fuck it. He pulled that shit out of thin air. Magic. But
I was out.
Even then,
3 hours, nigga.
But if that's true,
Was one.
then you saw he was talking about it.
So y'all had some opinions that y'all were talking about. I know Lauren kind of voiced his opinions yesterday at the show. What did y'all think about the interview?
Shit, I thought it was long. Well, Lauren, like a couple of days ago when we was recording, Lauren was like, you know, it was cool, but they was agreeing a lot.
Right.
And I didn't understand that. You
Okay.
feel me? Because I was like, you know, agreeing is cool.
Right.
But then I watched it.
And you realize
Anything after 45 minutes is just like, you know,
It's
it's
not
a please fest.
My fault. It's not necessarily that they're agreeing. It just really felt like a first date where you're not trying to piss the other person off. You're still
Right.
trying to fuck it in.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, so
They're just being
reason
tame versions of themselves.
the reason I didn't look at it that way is because there's two things that I think that are important, especially when you're the interviewing and you have an interviewee. When you're interviewing somebody that has an open case, how much can we really talk about it, right? How much can we really talk about that, right? Because that's probably what most people want. So, like, Andrew Tate has an interview somewhere, 9 times out of 10, they want you to dig in on your open case, right? So, I thought it was a plus, and I thought it was good that they were able to, that she was able to lightly touch upon it, but still have a 3-hour conversation that didn't incriminate him and didn't make him uncomfortable to where, you know, I have to face this judge still soon. You know what I'm saying? Because most people will get to a interview, like an Andrew Tate interview with an open case, or let's just say a rapper, a gangbanger with an open case, and it's like crack. They can't help but ask about the open case.
They're trying to get insider information.
Yeah, and it almost either shows you either look at the interviewee as an unethical interviewer or a culture vulture because you're like, okay, they don't care that they might be facing 20 years. I'm still going to ask you, so what happened the night that your homie died or whatever, right? And then another thing that I thought I wasn't that upset with it is because this wasn't an interview about his case, which is what most people expect when they see him go to a platform right now. It was a conversation about masculinity. Essentially.
Yeah, it was just his whole like message.
What's your philosophy?
It was that's pretty much what which is why that didn't bother me. I didn't feel the need to watch all 3 hours because I've already watched him. So I essentially know what his philosophy is, but it was still in a certain aspect honorable on Candace that she was able to go with him and have a full conversation that didn't incriminate him and still was able to get value out of him and talk about something else. And you know what I'm saying?
I agree, and Andrew isn't green to this. Like, he's a man's man. He even called himself out when he was talking about how, like, you know, he was talking about how he had women working for him.
Right.
And he was like, I know what you're about to ask. You know, how can I say no to porn?
Right.
But I was running a fucking porn business.
Exactly.
You know, corn.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You know.
I don't think it matters. That word, there's certain words that I'm realizing that don't matter. We can say it.
Oh, right.
I think it's like I think it's you can say it.
Just
say it.
repetitive, yeah.
It's just like you know what I'm saying?
What about
Yeah.
a great word?
But
that
you
one
can
is
say
That was
it.
a little shit. That's
the
just so
verdict.
shaky.
The verdict is still out on that one
Yeah.
because sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not.
But it's
three
weird. It's
niggas
like,
on
why
camera.
wouldn't
We
you
can't
be
say
able to say the word? It's not like we doing it live
Yeah,
on
I don't
camera.
know. It's weird. It's weird. You know,
There's a
I
video
don't
of a
know.
man shaving his anus.
That's a whole fact
Yeah.
on YouTube.
It's not even a video.
Uncensored.
Jesus
It's a
Christ.
tutorial, nigga.
Yeah, it
so he's
is.
going in detail.
Educational purposes.
Yeah, which
Ugh.
is
The
yeah.
crevices of this nigga's
Going
ass.
in deep.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know, but go ahead. What was you saying?
But no, I was just saying that how, you know, he called himself out and, you know, he wasn't scared of the conflict.
Right.
You feel me? Like he opened those doors for Candace to even ask the questions.
Right.
So he's a good interviewee.
And even
You feel me?
though he's saying the same message several different times, you know, he's extreme enough with his analogies and all that shit to where it's entertaining all in itself
Yeah.
every time.
Every time.
Like
yeah.
it was one point I wanted to ask your niggas how you feel about this. He was like, I don't think it's an intelligent thing for a man to do to go through his life saying I'm sorry.
I understand where he was coming from.
You know, explain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can,
Jamaicans don't apologize for shit anyway, usually.
No,
I don't remember the context of it, but I can rationalize how he got to that point. You know what I'm saying?
For me, he was saying that he was just talking about like you shouldn't feel sorry for your actions all the time because you don't have time to feel sorry for your actions. As a
Yeah.
man, you have to be able to like
You need to
move
be-
past things and like
You need to be
keep it
clear,
pu- yeah,
concise.
clear,
You know
concise,
what I'm
be able to
saying?
move
You need
past
to,
things.
you
keep
need to
pushing.
move with intention.
Yeah.
Do things with intention. So you really
Yeah.
aren't sorry because that move that you made should have been calculated already.
Right.
But what if
Everything.
you're a calculated asshole
I
and
think
you
it's,
fuck somebody over? You don't feel the need to apologize?
Well, everything's in context.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, shit, I guess not. You
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
Like,
yeah. If
you think
you're a
Jay-Z
calculated asshole,
You think Jay-Z felt bad after what happened to Dame, you know, little sidebar.
right.
But you know, how bad you think Jay-Z felt?
Shit, we could talk
Well,
about
you know,
Puffy and all his deals too.
Don't call that
Puffy.
man Puffy.
It's better than fucking
No,
What?
Diddy.
Take that.
every all his
Post
names
that,
is a
post
little, yeah. Yeah. But what you think? How mad you think Jay-Z was?
Probably
Oh,
not that man because
sorry.
Because Dame Dash went out in flames, nigga. He was probably glad to see him go.
So Jay-Z
The
ain't feel
sympathy
sorry
was
for
gone.
himself.
Yeah, but that don't mean.
But
shit.
that's just his mentality. That's the way he was raised. Every time he talks about his like history, it
Yeah.
sounds so heroic. Like
Yeah,
the
it
things
does.
I've done. You know what I mean? Like
Tate or Jay-Z.
Tate.
No.
Yeah, Tate.
It's
Oh
like the
yeah.
things
Yeah,
I've
it is.
done, the life I had to live in order to
Yeah.
survive.
He
You know,
sounds
he
like
beat
he sounds like a man who's had to overcome shit.
He sounds like a man who used to beat people alive for a living.
Yeah.
And everybody that you know what it did make me want to do though, because anybody that I know that anytime I've heard about people doing like boxing, MMA, whatever, some sort of
Jiu-jitsu.
fighting, right?
Yeah.
They all at some point dabble in underground bare knuckle. And I'm like, low key, where are the spots in Raleigh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you think about participating?
I don't want to participate, but I damn sure wouldn't mind going and putting some money down somewhere.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
I don't mind watching two niggas beat the hell
Facts.
out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, I have no issue doing that. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't mind
So,
seeing a nigga lose the skin on his forehead?
I don't. I really don't.
For
And,
$50 at the end of the
that
day.
sounds lit. We get to size them up. Okay,
They had a
just-
few back in the day, like in high school and shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wait, you mean?
They had like some like little clubs in high school, like outside of school, where niggas
For
would
real?
bare knuckle shit. Yeah,
Yes,
I wanted,
I missed
I wanted,
that.
I wanted to be a part of that shit. At
I
one
missed
point,
that.
but-
They weren't doing it. Either they were doing it, and I wasn't a part of that circle
Yeah.
to know about it, or what. But
Yeah, you wasn't hanging with the
It's normally
Yeah,
it's
I'm
normally
not-
some crazy white boys though. They be doing shit
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's no different than sideshows. It's just like the underworld. It's different underworlds.
Every industry has an underworld.
Yeah,
so
you
yeah.
feel me?
So, but when he said like he even did bare knuckle fighting just to eat that night, I was like,
Yeah.
there's bare knuckle fighting here somewhere. There's got to be, right?
Yeah.
There's
there is.
got to be.
Yeah,
There's
There's
a
some
gotta
bare
be.
everywhere.
knuckle ring in every city in America.
Every city. So
Facts.
it's like tap in.
Just like there's an
Tap in.
underground poker ring here too.
Yeah, I know about that. I know about the underground poker ring.
That's deep.
It's serious.
It's serious down
You
here.
want some money out there?
Allegedly.
I didn't win, but I pulled up in a party by accident. I'm not with Shorty no more.
For some reason, you said poker, and I just imagined a bunch of niggas underground playing bingo.
Yeah. it's-
Nah.
Damn, they must be making some real money in bingo.
Yeah.
They doing that shit in the shadows.
Yeah, man. But
They had stacks on the table. That's all I can tell you.
but the
Oh, shit.
Candace Owens conversation, though, I did think it was good. I don't think it was. I didn't need to watch all 3 hours, but I would say that
It wasn't new.
I say it wasn't new, but I would say like it was definitely a good interview that laid a foundation of his philosophy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
pretty
which
much.
which is good because most of the time in a time of crisis, we can call it crisis when you have an open case, right? You're only looking for somebody to either backpedal, explain themselves, or incriminate themselves either more. Those are the only positions normally. So I would say this is a good interview that built character. You know what I'm saying? That if we were the jury of his case, it would, it looks good. And
it was nice to see
and
that
it was
friend.
and it was still real. It wasn't fake. It wasn't like he was trying to make himself look good. They stuck to a topic that got him this tens of millions of followers and you know what I'm saying?
All this, fame.
Right, essentially.
admiration,
Yeah, so
nigga.
I didn't think it was bad, but for somebody who was already aware of Andrew Tate, I think we don't need to watch all 3 hours. For somebody who wasn't aware, I think it gave a good objective side of his message.
I feel like it didn't have to be 3 hours in general.
Well, it's actually longer than 3 hours. So one of the notes, or not even one of the notes, one of the screenshots that I put in there was a couple times when she would be talking. I know y'all noticed, and then she would it would be to watch the full uncut version of this. You would see her moving really fast or whatever like that. It's not that.
Yeah,
Probably
I
said some
realized.
salacious shit about somebody. Is that 𝙿𝙾𝚃 Anthony?
Yeah, that's something different.
That's
Take
something
that off the screen, please. It's too distracting.
Yeah, nah, you put Lala on the screen.
But yeah, they would do like this fast forward thing where it was like
Doing nice little mid roll like Big Loon.
yeah. That was pretty graceful.
Yeah, it
Nigga
was.
like an old cat.
Yeah. De Niro just moved through the wires so gracefully. But yeah,
I thought you was worried about him shitting.
nah.
Ever
that's
since that
the-
happened last episode, you got to be paranoid.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell y'all actually, last night when I was in here editing the 3 Oak podcast, I heard a cricket in here and I couldn't find it. So we might have a visitor tonight, possibly. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
We might have a visitor. You know
We
what
got
I'm
to
saying?
get that breach in the system fixed.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to do the whole debugging thing. I just didn't have time. I've been out the house for 13 hours a day, so it's I just didn't even have time to do the whole pest touch up thing. But staying on Andrew Tate, yeah. Now this whole thing, this fast forward thing, I was like, this is how you pimp out a Patreon with a good interview. You know what I'm saying? The juicy answers.
Yeah.
You put a little thing over it that says, if you want to see the whole uncensored thing, and then it would gracefully cut back in perfectly.
Just, nice and subtle, you know
Nice
what I mean?
and subtle, yeah. I picked up things just watching the editing of the interview.
There's a lot of gems and jewelry to be held on. Put
Right.
around your wrist.
Yeah,
I feel like Andrew Tate is what Tupac would have been if he kept living.
man.
He would have.
Not in terms of message, because their message is different. Tupac is a little bit more black and powered and all that shit. But just in terms of impact, being a bald martyr and having a lot
martyr.
of the young adult male youth paying attention to you.
Because
And even some of the cancellations.
I hear what you're saying.
I feel like Tupac was flagrant enough to really get his Cashapp dismantled.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
If he would
yeah.
have kept living, because when you die early on and you had that much impact and that much magnetism, it's like we kind of just glorify what you were.
Right.
But the longer he keeps living, he's gonna be as loud
And then we get to see more mistakes.
and as
Yeah.
arrogant, and niggas
Yeah.
gonna try to tear him down too.
That's true. Nipsey was always to me was what I assume people felt for Pac.
Yeah.
Right.
like,
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
on the lower
absolutely.
end.
like Pepsi and Coke.
I don't know.
It's kinda
I don't
like
know
what you
because
mean.
the way
Pepsi
that
and
y'all feel about Pac, I never felt that way. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
what you
saying?
mean?
But
I'm saying, like,
he's saying it's still two different products.
it's the kind of the same drink, but two different products. One might be a little bit more marketable, or like
Yeah, that still
mainstream
stands for what
set.
he's saying though, because some people look at Pepsi like people who look at Coke look like Coke. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you're saying. I agree with him on that front. Like I looked at Nipsey the same way. This must be how people who fuck with Pac felt.
Right.
It's the same
don't
type
know.
of love, but it's not to the same severity.
I about to say on the lower end, because niggas love Pac.
Nigga,
That's true. It wasn't.
You
as
can't
a-
even compare that
Well,
shit. Yeah.
not okay.
We
I
gotta
can't
wait,
compare.
but we
I
gotta
would
wait.
just say for me though.
okay,
Right.
yeah, for
I'll
you
say for
personally.
me though. Yeah,
I was about to say for mainstream, we gotta wait
not
20
nationally.
years until Nipsey Hussle, until it's not abnormal to see Nipsey Hussle on a random Target T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he's that much of a legend
Exactly,
that
that's
he's a,
right.
he's a product now.
Yeah.
Nipsey
Yeah,
never got
exactly.
that big, but like
Yeah.
I feel
That
I
that.
see
makes
that nigga in
sense.
Pac Sun first.
Yeah. Now this interview still had gems in it because Candace Owens is a professional and
She's a professional what exactly?
catching bodies.
Okay.
This is what she does. You know what I'm
King
saying?
Von
She's
style.
a true journalist.
She is. I didn't put
She
the.
worked for Daily Bugle.
Oh, there's a hole in the bottom of my sock. Thank you, man.
I thought
I was trying not to say anything, you know.
I thought you
I hit
did.
you with that
Did you
earlier.
text him that?
He
Way
did,
earlier,
but
yeah.
I appreciate it.
You,
I just
you worried
saw it.
about them comments, ain't you?
Nah, I'm just trying to make sure everybody. I'm not trying to have my man out here looking. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, we
It's
all
all good.
Yeah,
It's all
it's-
good though. I'm just saying, you know, hey, it's all.
Yeah,
Hey, nigga said, it's all good. Yeah, the nigga is.
No, it's here now.
Be
Nigga.
proud of it. Yeah,
In fact,
don't do
regardless
that,
of what
nigga.
you might think, Tone, I have your best interest at heart, brother.
I don't know which
appreciate
one it is.
Regardless of what you may
Wait,
think.
why would you assume that I wouldn't assume that? Why would you assume that I would assume otherwise? It's all love in this motherfucker.
Get a close up on it.
Oh,
they-
geez, they get a nice little
It's
zoom
the
in.
other one too.
It's both of them?
Yeah,
It's both of
It's
them.
both.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm really out
Yeah,
here
you a
bumming.
little
Yeah,
fucked
it was
up right
looking- it
now.
was
I'm
looking-
fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm fucked
It looks like you rubbed your heels together to go home.
But you still good. You my homie and shit. And it's crazy, right? Because the right one, it's a hole, but it's like
subtle.
It's more like a
it's like
puncture.
Spider-Man holding
like a
the two
light skin.
trains,
It's
nigga. It's
like a
like
light skin.
it's holding just on the verge, nigga.
Yeah, nah, if you was
Yeah.
panhandling, you make some money with them sex.
I was about to say, oh my god.
God, that's funny as shit.
Yeah,
That nigga said that was both of them. You fucked up right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I mean, please donate, people. We need it,
Yeah,
obviously,
donations.
nigga. We need Hanes
Holy
socks and
shit,
socks,
that is
nigga.
funny.
Or shit, we're taking ambassadorship.
Oh my god.
Get a nigga some free socks for a promo code.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
He got his knees covered today too.
Shout out
I
to
do.
Candace Owens, though. You know, I mean, she was
But the
looking
shot-
wonderful in the interview.
Yeah, and the shot that I wanted to remember that I wanted to play was when she did address. They did have a conversation talking about Adam 22 and
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
Leonard the Plug, and we're talking strategic body. This is what Candace does. You know what I'm saying? I put the link in there as well too.
They crucified him. It felt like they was using scripture.
They did. You know, and
And-
this like the devianceness,
The degeneracy.
the say thank you.
Hadam.
Degeneracy.
Degeneracy.
Yeah.
The
It's crazy.
Tate had already done it one time, but
Live with Adam.
live with them. But like, this is like two adults talking about other adults, but just like putting themselves so much above them. Like, look at these fucking dudes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Just like it was almost the Lord's work. Almost.
And we also
like,
got to talk about when he linked up with Aiden, and Aiden connected with Adam.
Yep.
yeah.
And like
That was first though.
Yeah, that was first.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
that
we
was
was
first?
just talking about. Where
Yeah, that was
Adam
first.
offered up his woman's body to him.
Yeah, his
and that's
husband.
where they were talking about that. They were talking about that interaction.
Oh shit.
Right, yeah. So I
That's
didn't hit
kind
the
of
bell
crazy